Smudger, hello, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good, I'm very well. Are you called Smudger? Do people call you Smudger?
You can call me anything you want. I've never had that actually.
You must have done.
Never. Never in my life.
Well,
Lots of other things, but not that.
what if it, your surname's Smith and no one's ever called you Smudger?
Oh no, no, I feel left out now.
Okay,
But thank you.
today
It's
you are our Smudger, if that's okay.
no problem, no problem.
Listen, we've got loads to talk to you. We'll talk about the Oscar De La Hoya comments in just a moment. But first, I know there's a very exciting card up in Liverpool this weekend. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, it's a next gen card. So a lot of our young talent out. We've got 8 fights. Peter McGraw's back out. He's one of the standout GB Olympians coming back off a loss in a tough fight against Mark Leach. Beatrice Ferreira challenges for a world title as well on the card. Janae Boston and a whole host of local Liverpool talent as well. So a big night on Saturday for us, and good to get the young kids a lot of experience as they come through.
Wonderful. All right, are tickets still available? People listening to this thinking I'd like to go and see that. Can they? And how do they do that?
Yeah, there's a few tickets left on the Matchroom via the matchroomboxing.com website from £40.
Okay, brilliant. Good luck with that. Listen, while we've got you, let's talk to you about Oscar De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn's comments. If people are unaware, I'll try and fill them in. Oscar De La Hoya tweeted, Eddie, for the sake of British boxing, just stay in the UK and promote. Leave the real promoters to the US market where boxing matters. You had your opportunity, wasted hundreds of millions of dollars building up nothing in the US. And then Eddie came back and said, are you genuinely okay? You stalked me like a crazed fan. You had a great win on Saturday. Yeah, I can assume your mind 24/7. It goes on and on and on. Where are we in this row?
Nothing's really changed. Oscar's always had a similar energy towards Eddie. That doesn't stop us from doing business with them at the end of the day. You don't have to get on. He's got a lot of people who work for him, Oscar, that we get on with, we work with. But yeah, Oscar obviously has a feeling towards Eddie, and it's not going away anytime soon. But we can still make fights. We can still make fights between our fighters. And we just all want to grow the sport. The sport's in a great place at the minute. Lots of investment, lots going on in the sport. And yeah, Oscar's not changing. I don't think that energy is not going anywhere.
I don't know if you could explain to us what kind of impact then has Matchroom had in the US up until this point?
Look, we've been in the US now for about 7 or 8 years. We broke the record at the AT&T Stadium with Canelo when he fought Billy Joe Saunders' attendance record. We promoted, I think, 7 of Canelo's last fights, who arguably the biggest star in US sport. You've obviously got to remember he came from Golden Boy, so he left Golden Boy. He'd been with Oscar De La Hoya. There's probably an element of dislike because of that. We've got many big shows. We just signed Jaron Ennis, who many believe is the future of US boxing. We do ourselves, 147 welterweight world champion. So we're in a great place in the US. We're developing young talent. Ray Ford, a kid we signed, from his debut 7 years ago, just won a world title. There's lots to look forward to in the US for us, but it was never going to be easy. We were never going to have everyone sitting there going, "Good luck." They didn't really want us there. So I understand it. It's competition. It's what it's all about. But it's good that people are talking.
Frank, I have to ask you about what you made of Ryan Garcia's post on social media, proving that it was all an act in the build-up to the fight, and proving that the act was everyone, including myself, and we had Eddie Hearn on, I think the week before, we were all questioning whether or not mentally he's in a fit state of mind to go into the ring, and he's come out and said it was all a wind-up. What do you make of that? That's quite incredible that he's done that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he had everyone going, didn't he? Look, the fight wouldn't have happened if he wasn't in a position to fight. New York State Athletic Commission, one of the best commissions in the world, would have had a lot of checks and would have been happy that he was in a sound enough place to fight. He went in the ring and he delivered a great performance. So, he's not the first character in the way. He's not the first person with a following that's going to have these views, and he's coming out with it on social media. He obviously believes a lot of things he's saying. He fooled everyone, but he's a brilliant fighter, and respect to both of those guys, by the way, for taking that fight, because on in their career, they're two fighters who have always stepped up to the challenges, both Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. But yeah, I mean, he had everyone going, didn't he?
I mean, it was a great performance from Ryan Garcia, but when you think about the weight issue and him coming in and him not leaving now as a world champion because he was overweight, do you think that the fact that he had that added little bit of weight had any bearing on the fight, and that's why Devin Haney maybe didn't get the job done?
Look, 100% it definitely made a difference. Devin Haney's not the kind of character that's going to make excuses, but Ryan Garcia, there was a weight limit in place of 140. He didn't make the weight. He obviously had an advantage over Devin there. But Devin's not going to use that as a reason why he lost. I think the best man won on the night, but definitely it gave him an advantage in that fight for sure.
I'm sure you're aware of it. Ryan Garcia claimed that he won $12 million by betting on himself in the fight. I think he put $2 million on at 6-1, there or thereabouts. Why are boxers allowed to bet on their own fights? And are boxers allowed to bet on other fights? Because obviously in football, you can't go near, obviously, your own team, but any other football team, if you're a footballer.
No, it would depend on the location of the fight, the relevant commission, etc. So in the UK, for example, the British Boxing Board of Control, anyone who's got a license can't bet on boxing, regardless of your involvement. So I couldn't have a bet on a boxing show, for example, and a fighter couldn't have a bet. But that's I'm not too sure whether he actually did. Maybe he's saying it. Maybe it's another thing he's added there. Whether he put $2 million on. Has anyone checked? Has anyone seen the betting slip? I'm not sure. But well done to him if he did win 12 million.
There's rumours over here and talks going on apparently that Ryan Garcia could fight Conor Benn. Could you see that happening?
Huge fight. Look, everyone's calling out Conor Benn. Every fighter wants to fight Conor Benn is because he gets people talking. You know, it's a massive fight at 147. I know Ryan Garcia is talking about moving up in weight to 147. So it would be a massive fight if he came over to the UK. He's obviously a big US pay-per-view star though as well. Let's see. There's lots of fights ahead for Benn though.
A big, huge domestic fight that's coming up soon that doesn't involve your gang, of course, is Chris Billam-Smith against Richard Riakporhe. This one's going to be at Selhurst Park. Do you think they can sell out a venue that big?
Look, not saying it because I don't promote, we're not involved. I don't think so, is my honest opinion. I wish them the best of luck. Stadium shows are great. You know, Chris Billam-Smith had a great show in Bournemouth last year, so I wish them the best of luck on it. I think it's a tough sell. But, you know, any fight that's good for British, it's a brilliant fight. And
why do you think it's a tough sell?
Because they're not, you know, Richard Riakporhe, I know both guys very well, but they've never had history of being big ticket sellers in terms of Richard. Chris has in Bournemouth. He's done a great job in Bournemouth selling tickets. I'm not sure it will sell, but I'm happy to be proven wrong. I'd like to be proven wrong because it's a good sign for British boxing if they can.
Okay. Before I let you go, are you aware that Barry Hearn and myself are both playing in the US Open 9-ball championships?
Yeah. Yes. Are you going to get drawn against each other?
Well, I'd love to get drawn against Barry. Have you seen him play? Have you seen him practice at all?
No, but every time I've seen him recently, he said to me that all he's been doing is practicing his 9-ball pool.
Okay.
So I think, who do you think is going to go further?
Barry.
I think we'll go the same distance together on the plane, and that probably will be where the similarities end.
Yeah, I think, didn't you play with Troy Deeney recently?
I did. Well, I mean, he was there, but he got absolutely demolished.
Oh, right, okay. Well, he said he so.
He said what? What did he say?
I've got to go. I don't know.
we put the video out of him getting tonked 5-1, so maybe have a look at that, Smudge. Hey, listen, a real pleasure as always. Thanks so much for coming on. Just one last plug, if you don't mind. That fight, the exciting card you got up in Liverpool this weekend, where can people go and get tickets if they want to come down?
Matchroomboxing.com, all available on there, and DAZN to watch.
Frank Smith, you're a star. Thanks always for coming on. Have a great weekend.
Peace, guys.
Thanks, man. There you go, Frank Smith, the Matchroom CEO. I think it's good when you get all this stuff like Oscar De La Hoya coming for Eddie Hearn and it can only be good for the sport, right? You saw the backstage chat, if you like, between Eddie Hearn and
which it went from a 10 in about 2 seconds to all back to hugging and cuddling.
But it gets us all talking about it, right?
Yeah.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.